Hi everyone, the Teledoctor Show is here. Good evening wherever you are. If you are watching us, we are on Facebook, live on the Diamond TV online. We are also live on the Teledoctor TV on the Facebook page. You are going to watch us live. It's yet another beautiful Tuesday today, 28th of January 2025. I'm your host for the Teledoctor Show today. My name is Malango Goma. I'm not alone in the studio today. And I have the very beautiful Dr. Telo by my side. Dr. Telo, say hi to the viewers.
Good evening, everyone. And welcome to Teledoctor TV Show. Of course, glad to be here and glad to be co-hosting with you, Malango.
Thank you so much. All right. So before we introduce the guest that we have today, we have a very wonderful topic that most of you don't like talking about. It's something that we dread socially and maybe even economically. That is why we've got an expert who's going to tell us nice things that you need to learn. So today's topic is about life after 50 years. Yeah. So what is your retirement plan? So, you know, I said in my preamble that this is a topic that most people dread to talk about. Socially, it's challenging. It's a challenging topic. Most of us don't like talking about retirement and death. But this is something that we can prevent. You know, death and retirement is inevitable, and it's something that is preventable for the unforeseen circumstances if you had to plan for it. So today, we are going to talk about how you can plan for your retirement. Before I go any further, here is our guest for today, Mr. Yurik. I hope I've pronounced it correctly.
Yes, you have, Malango.
Okay.
And thank you so much. Good evening, viewers.
Good evening. So, you know what I'm just thinking about? You know this name, Yurik. Have you ever played that game? You know, there's those games where you're going through the alphabet and then you have to mention a name.
Is it Arms Up America?
Yes. Thank you. Yes, you know what I mean, right? And so now, guys, there's your name. That starts with you.
Mention something that starts with you. And the good part is this from the Eastern Province. So I can't trouble him much because he's my brother. Unless he was Bemba. So, yeah. So, we've talked about what we're talking about today, which is retirement plan. So, before we dive into this nice topic, please do drop us a text on the number 0979-904-046. Anybody's going to pick up, just dial that number. You can call us or you can text us and we'll be able to pick up that call that you need. And if you haven't downloaded our Teledoctor app, you know it's Teledoctor, so we're dealing with electronic. You need to download the app on your iOS or your Google Play Store. So, before we dive into our nice topic, I feel so excited to talk about this so that I plan ahead before I turn the age of 50, because I'm only remaining with like 2 years to be 50.
Whatever. You wish.
We age in reverse. So, let's listen to a wonderful advert that's going to talk to us about health and wealth. See you.
Something that should be on your mind. Mafipe, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
What is a good investment? You should also address what is a bad investment.
Okay. I think a good investment is a clear investment. It means
Just define what clear you mean.
at the end of the process, you'll be able to determine what you've benefited out of the business. So let me give you an example. If I invest in a bond, okay, my yield, what I will get out of it is known from the very start because somebody else is managing it and I come to the end of the investment and I expect an outcome.
Yeah.
Okay, if I'm building a house, for example, I understand that the number of blocks gets me to a certain point and the value increases. But if I'm investing in a hardware store, for example, I've put money in. The only way I'll know whether or not we're making progress is if I have some kind of credible set of accounts or records or information at the end of the process. A bad investment would be one that's not clear, one where I can keep on investing money and ultimately yield nothing at the end of it.
Okay, so what's your message about this bad, good investment to the people this week?
For you to evaluate an investment, to know if it's good or bad, look at your own circumstances. How much time and ability do you have to supervise it? And what are you getting back at the end of it? Is there a report that explains what the performance was? If you have those things, you can make a good decision around what the investment should be for you.
Welcome back to yet another live show. Those of you who've just joined us, this is the Teledoctor team, which are streaming live on our Facebook pages. You can join us on the Diamond TV online and also the Teledoctor Facebook page. Those of you who don't have an opportunity because of the load shedding issue, we understand. And you can also reach us on the number 0979 904 Okay, so this year as Teledoctor, if you've been following us from the word go when we just entered in the year 2025, our priority is about your health and wellness, which we've been talking about and building on. We talked about the importance of setting health goals. We talked about nutrition and also the mental health aspect, which was last week. And those of you who've joined us today, we are talking about 50 years, your retirement plan. What is it? So, in collaboration with health, we've discovered that most people prior retirement, they get to be stressed up. It's got a lot of predisposing factors which are destroying one's mental health. Isn't it, Dr. Taylor?
Very true, very true. I mean, when we think back, or when we think about the definition of health, there's that mental health aspect. And when we look at the ages as people are aging towards 40, 50, the stress that they undergo leads them into all these health conditions that we talk about, mainly the hypertension, diabetes. Then, of course, the worst case scenarios, what we see when, you know, our patients would now have strokes, heart attacks, no siku, but the truth of the matter is people are thinking so hard. They don't want to go for health checkups. They don't want to set these health goals. They don't want to think about themselves as a whole being. You know, and this is why, as Teledoctor, we are focusing on the other aspect that causes a lot of stress and affects the health, which is how do you handle your wealth? How do you handle your wealth now? How do you handle your wealth then as we project? I mean, you know, we're talking earlier about those stories about people that are, you know, 85 and
still working.
And we're seeing them in the hospital.
It's a sad situation.
You know, we're not saying they're not doing it because they are out of passion. But you can actually tell that they are doing it because they need to eat.
Exactly.
Which is very, very sad. You know, so this is the importance of this topic. So, Yurik, thank you so much for joining us this evening. And as per tradition, we would like you to tell us a bit about yourself.
Okay, a bit about myself. In terms of this specific,
the whole show, we want to talk about the topic. Of course, we want to know about yourself, your family, and then, of course, a bit of introduction about what brings you here.
Okay. My name is Yurik Daka. I'm with Sanlam Life Insurance. I'm married with 4 children.
4? Wow.
Yes. I thought you'd say 2.
Me too.
I'm married with 4 children, 3 girls and a boy.
Oh, lovely.
Yes. So, as I earlier stated, I'm with Sanlam Life Insurance under corporate business, and we deal with annuities. So, in terms of
English, I wanted to ask what annuity is. I know we've gone the wealth direction, but we are still very raw and we're not experts in some of the terminology.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay, so I deal with annuities. Annuities are basically a series of payments that one receives over a lifetime. Okay. So, for example, if you happen to retire today and you buy an annuity, then you have an opportunity to actually receive payment as though you are getting paid on a monthly basis for the rest of your life.
Okay.
So that's what we do at Sanlam Life Insurance.
Okay. And what do you do in your pastime?
Okay, in my pastime, I like playing with my kids. So most of the time, my pastime is at home. Playing with my girls and the guy. So yeah, that's what I do.
All right. Did you tell them about retirement?
Not yet. But we'll soon.
How old are they?
But we'll soon start having serious conversations around retirement.
How old is your oldest?
13.
13? That's not enough.
So 13, and the youngest is 2.
Oh, lovely.
So, yeah, so the second one is will be turning 6. Oh, is 6, will be turning 7. And the other one is 5. So I just want to give them a year or 2.
Then you start having the discussion.
Then we start having the discussion.
As you retire, before you reach 50, this is what you should do. Okay, no, this is good. So
what has impressed me about it? Most men don't know the ages of their children. But he's even able to stipulate, no, this one is 6, turning 7. I completed grade 12 and my father used to think I'm in grade 10. I'm actually impressed. No, keep it up, Mr. Daka, with that one.
No, impressive. No, that's good.
Yeah.
So no, this retirement thing, I mean, we hear it talked about very casually.
Yeah.
No, I'll retire, or when I retire, or what. So what should we understand about retirement and a retirement plan? And especially looking at this 50 years old. Before it was like, 40 is the new Shanshani. Now it's like 50. Yeah, some of us are like 12 years to 50.
Okay, Doc. What you should understand is when it comes to retirement, a lot of Zambians are not enlightened about retirement until it's very late. But retirement planning actually begins the day you start work. Okay, so from the very first day you start work, you should actually be oriented. Okay, what will happen when you retire or as you age, things like that. So basically, what happens is when you start work, you'll be receiving your salary, and because you are too excited with the first salary, so you spend it buying a new phone. Then from a new phone, you work for the next 6 months to a year. You go and buy a car. Then from a year, you want to move in a big rented house, where you pay a lot of money, to this landlord who has retired. So, in short, we waste a lot of money just immediately after we start work. Okay. But the downside of it is that when people are actually approaching retirement, that's when they realize, I don't have a house to live in. Some don't even realize it, not until they retire. Okay. Then too, depending on where you are working, you find that some employers are actually good employers, so they will create a fund on behalf of their employees. Okay, so there will be on the fund management side of it, where they are keeping money for the employees. At the time they retire, that money, half of it will be turned into an annuity. Then the other half is paid as a lump sum, to that employee. Those are the lucky ones. Then there's the other side. There are some employees who don't have, who have employers who have not invested in a fund for them. Okay. Then you find that at the time of retirement, they will only be waiting for their NAPSA, and they won't have any lump sum. So at that point, if they have not invested in a house or
some stream of income,
or some stream of income which will be keeping them until the end of their life, which is death, then it becomes a problem. It's like surrendering someone to death already at that point. Because basically what happens is that when a person retires, the very day you retire, your income reduces by 50%. So, doctor, if you are working today, then tomorrow you decide to retire. If your salary is 2,000 kwacha, tomorrow your salary is going to be 1,000 kwacha. Wow. Your income is going to be 1,000. It will reduce. Yeah. What's going to reduce that income, in actual sense, is things like that you don't pay attention to. when you are working, you find that your employer, for example, will be paying for your accommodation, your house. They'll be paying for your health insurance. Okay, they'll be covering the health insurance, transport, and the school for others, school fees for others, for the kids. But when you stop work, you find that those things are taken away, okay, immediately. Meaning that you have to pay for those services directly yourself. That payment that you are making from then on actually takes up much of your money. Okay. Now imagine if someone hasn't built a house yet, and then they decide, oh, the little money I've been given, let me build a house. You find that most of them don't even get to finish building those houses, okay, because they never planned for it, okay. So we encourage our members to do financial planning immediately. Start work. We do a lot of presentation across the country, and this is the message that we spread to our members. Just in organizations, we go around in organizations and we share this knowledge to ensure that people start planning for insurance and annuities as well, so that they continue having an income. I'm talking about annuities now because in Zambia, most people, when they think of investment, what do they think about?
Business.
No, they think of building a house.
For rent. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So most of them will be thinking, oh, I'll build flats. Then I'll build flats. Then once people start renting those houses, then I'll be getting an income. Okay. But we are encouraging people to have multiple streams of income.
Exactly.
Okay. So that you know, in case this stream does not work out, there is something else that they have. So, for example, if someone decides, okay, let me build flats, they build 2 flats and they are getting 2,500 per flat, 2,500, okay? This is the year 2025, okay? You notice that in the next 3 years, 4 years, or 10 years, okay, the amount that they are getting from those flats will start diminishing without them noticing. Yeah. Okay. What will be reducing that amount is actually the maintenance cost. Okay. No, you need to plaster. No, the tenants. And for some, you find that they have got tenants who are not actually paying. You see? So you have got months where you are not receiving your rentals. Then the tenant leaves the house eventually.
Runs away.
Yeah, so you see, all those things are not planned for. Okay. But when you have got an annuity, you have a constant income. You see, you don't have to think about it. You just sit, and every month you'll be receiving the income, I say, the monthly payment or quarterly payment, depending on how
what you decide.
Yeah, you want to be receiving those monies. So basically.
Okay. Wow. So you mentioned that Zambians are very bad at planning for retirement. And I think it's really true. Like if you think about maybe the generation just above us and what they're going through. There are so many stories, and I'm sure you, Malango, have seen a lot of them that come as patients, you know, and things like that. But does culture have a role to play in our failure to plan for retirement? Like, you know, because there's black tax. Because it's like, why do I need to plan? Now I have children who are going to work. Then I'll just be
getting from them.
Exactly.
Okay, that's a very good question, Doc. So, if you are to ask now, okay, among your peers and ask them how many of them are still living with their parents, okay? Probably out of 50, you find that it's 1 or 2, okay? So it means that there are a lot of parents that are not taken care of, okay? And for some, it's by design, meaning maybe the children don't have sufficient funds, they're not doing very well, okay? For others, because of the way they were brought up, okay? So you find that they don't care, okay? And so this retiree will be struggling through life, and if they don't have accommodation, then we see a lot of people destitute in the streets. Some of them is because of these issues that happen within these families. So culture has got much to to play in all this. So if children nowadays are not looking after the parents, then we need to think around how these people will be living, okay? Before, whilst you're in employment, you have to think about the kind of income you want to have when you retire.
Yeah.
And how are you going to have that income, okay? So it's time to start thinking about where to invest your money. How are you going to invest it? Will my employment help me achieve these goals? What should I do for me to ensure that I achieve my retirement goals? Okay. So the funny thing is that if you are to ask anyone, probably just a few people will tell you that, I've got enough money to save for my retirement. Okay. But investment by nature is not done at once in most cases. It has to be done in bits.
Yes.
Okay. So the little monies that you spend in maybe clubbing, how are you prioritizing your expenditure towards clubbing, towards saving, things like that. So over time, as you are saving that money, or you are contributing towards a fund in order to buy an annuity in future, such build-ups, you find that after 10, 15, 20 years, it will be a lot of money, sufficient to keep you on a daily basis.
Okay. Wow. Yep. So before I hand over to Malango, so what is this, maybe life assurance, maybe, because I think that's what people have heard because of movies. This one was cute because had a big life policy, So I think to just allay the myths and the thoughts around it, maybe. So what is life insurance rather, and how does it fit into a retirement plan?
Okay. So in terms of life insurance, because I'm on TV, so I want to put it in the simplest term. Okay. So in terms of life insurance, what we are actually saying is that give us a little bit of a premium being a payment, okay, that you make on a monthly basis, okay. For example, 100 kwacha, okay, so that in future, in case of any unlikely event of death, this is when we are talking about life insurance, okay, any unlikely event of death, then we'll ensure that your beneficiaries get something, a lump sum, an agreed amount, okay. Let's say we say, oh, you are talking about millions. They say, oh, we'll give you 5 million, okay, and that 5 million will be paid to your beneficiaries, okay. So basically, in case the person who invested happens to die, then the insurance company will ask for proof to show that this person no longer exists, to prevent the fraud we are talking about. Okay. Then after we prove, oh, okay, yes, there's a death certificate, yes, oh, there's a burial permit, then we make a payment, okay, to the beneficiaries. Now, here we are talking about documents, and when we are talking about payments and so on. But in actual sense, when we are talking about the death certificate, what we are actually talking about are lives of people at the other side of it, okay? We are talking about the beneficiaries. Imagine someone who has passed on and they have left young children, okay? who is going to take care of those children? Who is going to pay for their education? Okay, that's where insurance comes. So we ensure that the promise is kept. Okay, so when you pay for insurance, you are assured that even when you are not there, okay, what you intended to achieve will be done, okay, through the insurance company.
Okay.
That's basically what insurance is.
Okay, and how does it fit into a retirement plan?
So, how it fits into a retirement plan, it fits in various ways, okay? Let's look at life insurance, okay? Now, I'll talk about life insurance in terms of an organization and in terms of an individual. Okay. So I'll start with life insurance for an organization. Okay. So for an organization who have, for example, employed 50 people, okay, and they have got these employees who work for them, okay. So the employer can decide that because I care about my employees, and in case I've got any accident or any form of death at my organization, it will be so expensive for me as an employer to pay the family or to compensate the family, okay, for the loss of the breadwinner, okay. So this employer would decide, oh, let me insure my employees, okay? And that kind of insurance is called group life insurance, okay? So they'll insure the employees as a group, okay? And you won't believe the amount of money that, in terms of premium, that the employers pay. It's very little amount. So you find that maybe the employer will pay 30,000 kwacha, okay? Meanwhile, they have covered each employee for 2 million, okay? So in case of any unlikely event of death of that employee, and they give us proof that, oh, this employee that had insured has passed on, then what we do, we pay the claim to the employer. That 2 million, when it's paid, that's the money that the employer is going to pay the family of the deceased, okay? And say, oh, this person was our employee and they died, so these are the benefits for the employees. That's the group life side, okay? That's what that's how insurance comes in, okay? So the employer is thinking on behalf of the employee and their family, okay? That's number one. Number two, the employer again will think about the employee and say, oh, this employee, after working for me for so many years, okay, how will I compensate them? Okay? They cannot just go home empty-handed. So the employer comes up with an initiative and say, oh, what we are going to do is we'll we'll request this insurance company or fund manager to manage our funds, okay? So you'll be contributing a 200 kwacha, and also, as an employer, contribute a 200 kwacha, you see, to help you save for this money, so that when you stop work, you have something. Yes, you have got something, okay? So this employee works for 20, 30 years, and they are 50, 55, okay? Then they decide, oh, 60. Nowadays, you can go up to 60. Either early retirement, normal, or late retirement. Apart from you medical doctors. Apart from medical doctors who can wake up to 8 years. Okay, so when the employee decides to retire, then the the fund manager will say, oh, you, through your savings, we have got 5 million that is in our book, on our books or in our account. Okay. So this 5 million, because the law states that half of it should be paid to the employee, then the other half, the law protects the same employee and says, because if we give you everything, you might go and drink it all. Or you might go and just spend it not knowingly, and then it finishes. Okay. So half of the other half, you look for an insurance company who is going to, where you are going to buy an annuity from. And those clients are the ones we help now. We help them through buy an annuity, and of course we give them financial advice at that point, so they benefit both ways.
Wow. Okay, no, this is quite interesting.
That's how insurance actually comes in. Now, there's one thing I just wanted to mention, because we're talking about health. A lot of people, when they reach retirement age, there are two things that happen. I'll look at two types of people. Okay. So this is the person who was working and they receive their lump sum, and the other lump sum is turned into an annuity. So that half is entrusted with them. They say, oh, in case you wanted to do business in life, go and do your business. In case you wanted to invest in anything else, bonds, equities, whatever, okay, go and invest. Then the other half is put as an annuity. You know why it's put into an annuity? Because in case any of these things fail, you have something to fall back on. Now, let's imagine this person who has been working for 40 years, okay? They are used if you get paid on the 30th, every month, you know, the transaction will go like, and if on the 30th, you haven't received that text message, you know, you actually feel as though something is missing in your life. Then you are even wondering, even start calling friends. Tangiana, what's happening?
But you forget.
What's happening? So you've been doing that for 40 years, okay? Now, after retirement, that stops, okay? And it stops at once, okay? You no longer receive the text. The friends you used to laugh with at work are no longer there. That on its own leads a lot of people into depression. And we see a lot of people after retirement, no, you want to 7 that 1 year off. And we are not looking at what has been happening with that person. Okay? Sometimes anyway they will be smiling, but you don't know what's actually happening with them. They are not telling you. Okay? That they are suffering inside. You know? That message, you see. Then you've got a lot of people in society who are depressed, a lot of people who are missing something in life. Okay? So what annuities do actually is to ensure that that change is not abrupt for most people who have gone into retirement. The message that you are used to receiving, okay, will continue. So if you are used to going to church, there will be money for transport for you every time. You know, you are used to having your cake on Sundays. It will be there, you know. That on its own helps you in terms of mental health. You know, health-wise, I mean, you end up having a more balanced life than someone who actually doesn't receive anything at all. So, in that sense, insurance is helping to save lives.
It is. No, it is. Yeah. So this is a great conversation. This is life after 50. What is your retirement plan? if after you retire, there's no TXN, and suddenly you're having palpitations, you need an ECG.
Exactly.
So let's listen to the ECG advert and know where you can actually get your heart checked.
Do you experience unexplained symptoms like chest pain, shortness of breath, dizziness, or heart palpitations? If so, a Holter monitor test might be right for you. What is a Holter monitor? A Holter monitor is a small, portable device that records your heart's electrical activity over a 24-hour period or more. It's like a mini EKG you wear all day. Who needs a heart monitor? Well, it's often recommended for individuals with known heart conditions. A Holter monitor can also be used for general heart health checkups, especially for athletes or those with concerns about their heart rhythm. How does it work? The Holter monitor consists of a small recording device and adhesive electrodes placed on your chest. It continuously records your heart's electrical activity, allowing your doctor to identify any irregularities. With the ECG 247 app, you can monitor your heart rate and rhythm in real time as you perform your daily activities like showering or exercising. Your doctor can also remotely access your heart data to provide expert analysis. For more information, contact us on 0979-904046 and email us at info@teledoctorzambia.com or search for our website at teledoctorzambia.com.
All right, so we are back. There, if your heart was having palpitations because you did not reach the TXN after retirement, you can actually come and have your heart checked. But even more important is that let's have your heart checked before retirement. Let's sure that you're able to enjoy your retirement plan.
Exactly.
Yeah, by ensuring that you're wealthy. Yeah, so over to you, Malango.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Start preparing them for
discharge.
So I think it's applicable in all cycles of life, you know. So, Mr. Uric, I wanted to find out what, you said you work for Sanlam. I wanted to know what retirement packages you have and, if possible, their benefits.
Okay. So in terms of retirement packages, we only have got one, which is an annuity.
Okay.
So the type of annuity that we provide at Sanlam is structured in such a way that we do not just make payments to our members. What we have done is that we have embedded benefits in it. Okay, so the number one benefit is that for our members, they can actually get advances against their payment.
Okay.
Okay. So, for example, if someone gets paid 5,000 kwacha every month, okay, when you retire, that doesn't mean that responsibilities end. Okay, for some, that's when they begin. Okay, so for example, if they get paid 5,000 kwacha per month, they can come and say, "Oh, I still have got a child in school. Is it okay if you advance me a 20,000 or 30,000 kwacha, okay, against my payment?" Then we'll advance them that payment at zero interest at all. And we'll make up a payment plan. Then there'll be, because we pay them monthly, so we'll be paying them a bit less. Okay? But they will pay back that amount at zero interest at all.
Wow.
Okay?
Okay.
That's the first benefit. The second benefit is that the annuity itself has got escalations. Okay, so if the peak and escalation, for example, is 7.5, so escalations range from 2.5 to about 12.5%, meaning every year that amount that they receive will be increasing by that percentage. Okay. That percentage will be increasing for life. Okay. So that's another advantage. Number three, you can decide to either buy it as a single annuity or as a joint annuity.
Okay.
The main advantage of having a joint annuity is that if, for example, you and your spouse buy an annuity, okay, and in case of any unlikely event of death of any one of the partners, okay, the payments do not stop. They're simply transferred from the person who used to receive them to the spouse.
Okay.
And the spouse will continue receiving those payments until the end of their life.
Wow.
Okay? But last year, something very good happened.
Okay.
We made a partnership with Teledoctor.
Okay.
Okay? And that partnership sits with the annuity. Okay? Meaning, if someone buys an annuity and they are a member, okay, of Sanlam life insurance, Teledoctor, they will have access to Teledoctor service for free.
Okay.
Okay. Sanlam will pay for all the costs, okay, for consultations through text and video calls, okay. Meaning a member, you know, a lot of people who are above 50, they don't even know that they are not feeding well because they are used that things are always paining. You know, so they can actually consult for free. Then Sanlam will pay for all the costs. The good thing is that Teledoctor goes over and beyond. Okay, in that, apart from just offering the consultation, they're even able to do home visitation.
Yeah,
okay?
Exactly.
But when they do home visitation, then the client will pay that for that part of home visitation, in terms of the cost.
Yeah.
Okay. But the other side of it, the consultation and all, Sanlam is going to pay.
Cover.
So this is a very good benefit, especially for people who are above 50. We are helping to save lives. You know, we are talking about people who got used to a certain way of life. So sometimes for some, when it changes a bit, it doesn't change well. So they need a doctor.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so that's the partnership we got into with Teledoctor. Very important partnership.
Yeah, exactly.
And we are hoping that all our members utilize this service as much as they can. As our numbers or number of clients are growing, we also want them to grow, to use this service so that it benefits them because it's all paid for.
So I'm sure now the question will be, okay, where do I sign up?
Exactly.
You know, to get all these benefits. I mean, and that's how wealth and, you know, and health come together.
True,
your wealth through the annuity, and then your health right there in the comfort of your home. Just get the Teledoctor app, dial a doctor, and someone can actually attend to you. So, Prof, thank you for watching. So he's actually sent in a message, and I think he's speaking for the masses, and he's just wondering the same thing we're talking about. But why are people fighting over this product?
Imagine.
Because everyone is going to die. That's the only sure thing in life.
Exactly.
We are all going to die.
Exactly.
So the thing is that you have to decide whether you want to die now or later. Okay. For some, you have the doctors available. The more you delay to see the doctor, the earlier you're taking yourself to the grave.
True.
Okay?
Very true.
So usually when we are doing this presentation, I tell people that we actually decide to die in most cases. So let's not decide to die. And let's utilize the services that are available.
Yeah, no, interesting.
Yeah. I've actually enjoyed this, and you've heard it, viewers, wherever you are. Sign up to the Teledoctor. Sanlam is in collaboration with Teledoctor, and we're going to teach you about the importance of planning for your retirement. Before we go to the most amazing part of the show, people love the myths and misconceptions, whether it's true or false. I just wanted to ask Mr. Uric about the 2024 award that you had.
The Customer Service Award.
Okay.
Okay, so you see, Sanlam is an evolving organization. So last year, because last year we won the Customer Service Award because of how we serve our clients. Okay. So our clients, a lot of technical people voted that Sanlam was the best customer service institution in the insurance industry because we've got a dedicated call center. We've got a dedicated call center which actually responds to client within a specified time period. Then two, they are easily accessible. So meaning any client can call 7549 and they'll get through and you get the feedback. Okay, that's one. Two, we do a lot of analytics. Okay, in terms of our clients and their needs, meaning we're able to categorize our clients according to their needs and respond to the needs that the clients want, and sometimes even come up with a product that suits the client using the information that we get from our call center. So that's where that award came from.
Well done.
Congratulations. You know, that was something of wrapping up 2024, which is very good. Okay, so we go to our myths and misconceptions. So, Mr. Uric, the first myth is retirement plans are best made when you're settled into your career with stable income. Is that true or false?
False.
No, what if you don't get a stable income? What if you're a tamang?
So, the funny thing is that a lot of people think, for example, if I'm starting work and I'm a nurse and there's Dr. Taylor here who's been working for a long time, and she earns a bit more income, then the misconception is that Dr. Taylor is more stable than I am. In actual sense, that's not the case. You might find that she's even in a worse off situation than the person who is just starting work. Yes, Kalova. You know, a lot of things. So there is never a point when you are really stable. There's never a point when you are really stable. But it's the decision
and the dedication,
and
just
the dedication
to remove that small amount.
Yes,
and just, all right, no,
that makes sense.
It does a lot.
Then the second one is speaking about death and life policies is bad luck. Is that true or false?
It's actually good luck. It's actually good luck. That's false. It's actually good luck because if you are talking about death, I think it's the beginning point of planning for it. Okay, then you can plan. I don't want to die in this way. I want, when I die, things should be in this way. So at least that's the first step of planning when you start talking about death. So people should not feel bad to talk about death. Even Jesus died. So it means all of us are going to die. So we should,
sure thing.
Yes, we should be happy that we're talking about it.
Okay. Life insurance promotes laziness in people being financially cared for. Is that true or false?
That's false. It's false because when we were starting, you were asking me about my kids and if we have started having those discussions.
Yes.
Or not. So the thing is that we need to be having conversations, and the more we have conversation with our children, our family members, and all, the more we get enlightened. And the better decisions that people make, meaning people won't be depending, won't be making bad decisions of being lazy, because there's something. Instead, they'll utilize those funds to invest them in proper areas so that the money can grow and they live a much better life. You see? So when we are actually talking about insurance and health, this is like a full package. Insurance affects health. Health affects insurance. We are they are related. It's like brother and sister.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, this has been
Wow.
great, and we really have to wrap up, I think, in the next minute or so. But I think we didn't get many callers. I'm not sure if they were scared about life and death or life after 50 or retirement. But please do call the Teledoctor line 0979-904-046. Catch us on all the socials. Should you have any question about your health related to wealth, and we're able to link you up even to Sanlam, and we can have that synergy and cohesion. Yeah, so back to you, Malango, just to close the show.
Okay, thank you very much for tuning in to Teledoctor. We're just going to tell you the activities that we offer, the services that we offer as Teledoctor. Catch us with Professor Wubrod Mutale's Think Talk podcast every Wednesday at 07 hours on Facebook and Spotify. Then we have a monthly dermatology clinic every Saturday, which is starting on 1st February at the Woodlands Specialist Clinic. And then we also have fertility clinics with Dr. Makamo each Thursday at the Woodlands Specialist Clinic. And you can also access doctors, physios, nurses, nutritionists on our Teledoctor app. Other flagship services that we offer include the corporate wellness, telehealth, and home services. Call to find out how we can talk about your service. You need to know your healthcare provider near you segment, which is here. And also, please remember to listen to us tomorrow on Radio Phoenix at 09 hours. We are there every Wednesday, 09 hours to 10 hours on your wonderful show of the Teledoctor. I've been your host for today. My name is Malango Goma. I wasn't alone today. We had Mr. Yurik Daka and my co-host, Dr. Telo Siame. See you next week, Tuesday. Have a pleasant evening.